Hello, and welcome everyone, I'm Aaron the Black Dragon, and today I'm participating in a study about moral dilemmas. Now that sounds intriguing, and this is something that I really like. So this will be... I don't know how much it will be about the end result for me, then it will be about the discussion that we're gonna have along the way. So let's just jump into this and see what the dilemmas are that we're gonna get flung at us. Let's see. Before you begin, we would like to provide you with some basic information about the test. Good. This test consists of 27 statements. You will read each statement and then indicate how much you agree with the statement or how true it is about you. There will be a response scale at the bottom of the screen. Move the slider until you are satisfied with your answer and press the button to submit your response. Your answer can lie anywhere along the scale. There are no right or wrong answers, we are just interested in learning about how you think. Just do your best. Let's see. Would you go out or... I would go out of my way to avoid walking through a graveyard. I mean, there's not really any spots where I ever had to walk through a graveyard other than when I was going to a graveyard. There's a lot of spots in my life where I was walking next to a graveyard, but I never avoided it, so that does not describe me in any way. Just a bit of a time ago, I even was working in the central graveyard in Vienna because I had work to do there. It doesn't bother me too well to be around a place like this, so it doesn't describe me at all. So, let's go. I probably would not go to my favorite restaurant if I found out that the cook had a cold. I'm a waiter. Sorry, I was a waiter. I know what's going on in the backstage. One chef having a cold back there does not mean anything. Just gonna be totally frank. There's going on a lot of stuff back in the kitchen and the restaurant that you favor. So really, one of the person working in there having a cold is not uncommon. The waiter, any of the cooks in the backstage. If it is something bigger like a hotel, the receptionists, anyone working in cleaning stuff, any of those will most likely at one point in their life have worked with a cold, or multiple times. That's just the way this business works. It's not really friendly towards its employees. I have worked with a lot of colds and other sicknesses as well. Just throwing that out there, so it wouldn't dissuade me from going to the restaurant. It would not upset me at all to watch a person with a glass eye take the eye out of the... I don't know. Just thinking about it, I would be so intrigued in seeing it. But at the same time, just thinking that, I'm like, does that come off as rude? I don't know. So I think I'm gonna stay like in between the it would not upset me at all. Then I'm gonna stay in that lane here. Between neutral and describes me very well. Because I don't know if it would upset me, but at the same time, I'm intrigued enough to see it being done once. But I also don't want to, because I know like two people in my life, not really my life, but that I met in my life, and one person that I know more than the other, that have glass eyes. So I technically could ask them, but I would never, because I feel like this comes off as rude. But I don't know, it never happened. I've seen other weird stuff, but never that. If I see someone vomit, it makes me sick to my stomach. Nope. Had to clean that stuff off as well. Does not matter. There's one image in particular that happened during my work as a waiter, where the man just threw up on the table. He was a very old man, he ate too fast and it all just came back out. He was a regular, like he came, I think, once a year. And he just ate his food too fast and it just all exited again. And that was one of the sights that for some reason burned itself into my mind, even though I've seen much worse stuff in my life. That just always comes back. But it does not make me sick. It's always just a wow. It would bother me to sleep in a nice hotel room if I knew that the man had died of a heart attack in that room the night before. I actually do not care. It would not bother me at all, because people die in a lot of rooms every single time. If I know it, I just know it, but there's nothing else that really bothers me with that. I mean, to my knowledge, no one ever died in a hotel that I worked in. But that doesn't change anything for me. Actually, I worked in historical places. There probably was a lot of people that died in those places. I just don't know about it. But it doesn't bother me. Even if it was the night before, that's just... as long as the sheets and everything got cleaned, and I'm fine with it, because that's what they have to do anyway. As long as you did your job according to everything else, and you are allowed to open your hotel back up, and whatever, I don't care. It bothers me to hear someone clear a throat full of mucus. No, it does not bother me. I actually do that myself. There's something weird though that I found through recording, and that is that the sound of coughing, like just that sound in a recording, really grinds my gears. And I don't know why. The person doesn't even, it's nothing malicious, they're just coughing because there's something in their throat, because they might have a cold, coming back to that topic. They just cough. For some reason, it grinds my gears when I hear it in a recording. I don't know why. There's the time where I had my annual cough, which is really frustrating, and I'm not gonna talk more about right now because I feel like I'm gonna jinx it. Where I had it for like 3 months or so in every recording, and I hated it so much. But I couldn't just cut out every time I cough, because that would make everything sound super choppy. But that just grinds my gears. But just that doesn't trigger that same effect for me. Maybe if I do it more often enough. But no, it doesn't bother me. I would rather eat a piece of fruit than a piece of paper. I love fruit. Why is that even the discussion that we have here? Why would I eat a piece of paper? I love fruit. I love bananas. I have bananas in the bag, and I'm highly debating right now on whether or not I take a banana like that later on, or leave them laying like just 2 more days until they're really nice and ripe and make a banana shake out of them. But honestly, a good piece of fruit. I had some apples today. Dang, fruit is really good, so I don't even get that. So yes, I'd rather eat a piece of fruit than a piece of paper. 100%. Give me fruit. I love it. Even if I was hungry, I would not drink a bowl of my favorite soup if it had been stirred by a used but thoroughly washed fly swatter? Even if I was hungry, I would not drink a bowl of my favorite soup if it had been stirred by a used but thoroughly washed fly swatter? I am amazed by this question right there. The answer is it does. Shush it for a moment. I can take care of that in a moment. I would not drink. First of all, that does not describe me. There is... First of all, the fly swatter is washed, so there will most likely not be any particulates of flies or other insects on that. And even if so, it's in my soup. My favorite soup is like this. It's not a cream soup, it's like a broth. where you cannot see down to the bottom of the bowl or the plate, with some like dumplings in it. And here in Austria, I don't want to say in German because I don't know if it's the same in Germany, but here in Austria we call them Einmachsuppe, and there's like rabbit or chicken stew like that, and I just absolutely love that. And I have it way too little in my life, but I absolutely love it, and I would not give two damns if fly water was used to stir that, because that soup is too freaking delicious as to pass it up. So I'm gonna take that fly swapper stirred soup. Seeing a cockroach in someone else's house doesn't bother me. I've never seen a cockroach to begin with, but I think insects are cool, so it doesn't bother me to begin with. It might, however, bother the person whose house I'm in. But I personally, if it would be my house, maybe I'm a little bit more upset about that. Still, cockroaches look cool, but they are most likely in places where hygiene and stuff is not the best, so it probably would upset me to see one in my house. For a different reason than just seeing a cockroach. It would bother me tremendously to touch a dead body. I don't know why I had to think about if I ever touched a dead body. I've seen dead bodies because I was at funerals. I don't think I've ever touched any dead body. No, that's not right. Just recently I had to throw out a dead bird out of the warehouse that I work at. But I don't think that counts as a dead body in that case, because I'm pretty sure they mean like a dead person. Or do they really just mean dead body in general? Because I'm gonna stay neutral to that, because there's still, even though there shouldn't be anything wrong with it, there's still this like, I'm taken aback by touching a dead body. Even if there's nothing happening with it or so, I'm still taken aback by that. So I'm gonna stick near the neutral one, because my first initial reaction would be no. And then when I go into like carried away or whatever, I probably would be like, okay, it doesn't bother me that much. But my first reaction will probably be, ugh. So I'm gonna stick near neutral, because it kind of swings back and forth between bothering and not bothering. It would bother me to be in a science class and to see a human hand preserved in a jar. That would be freaking interesting. But no, that would not bother me, because I also wanna go to that like human body museum that exists. I don't know where it is, but I know there is something like this where you can see all sorts of stuff that is even donated from real people for that museum specifically, and those are real like I don't know if body parts, but real organs and stuff like this, or replicas of everything that's inside of you. So I would really love to see that, because it's interesting. So I don't think it will bother me in any way. It's just something that I find really fascinating, because the whole human body is a mess and really fascinating to see and study in a controlled environment. I might be willing to try eating monkey meat under some circumstances. Yes, I would be. I would be interested in trying all sorts of meats if, first of all, it be legal. That's a big thing there. And yeah, just the circumstances are in an alright environment. I hope I made it clear enough that I would not just go out of my way and eat like a human being or a monkey or any pet for just I wanna try them. Just under the right circumstances, I would try specific meats, like when in China I think you could get dog and cat meat, which would be really interesting to me to try, but I would not go out of my way and eat Millie, our own recording doggo. Would never do that. Or go to my friend's place and start grilling their cat. I wouldn't do that. So the right place, the right mindset around everything, and of course legality behind everything, then I would be alright with trying those meats. Other than that, no. But if everything is under a green light, I'd be down for it. It would bother me to see a rat run across my path in the park. No, have seen that. And I think rats are cute. And also we have these huge rats. Like they're ginormous. When there's a flooding and you see them, you think like a rat is just a bit bigger than a mouse. No, those things are huge and they're so cute and cuddly. You will not want to get near one of those because they carry a lot of plagues with them and diseases. So if that thing bites you, not so good, but still, they're cute. I always wanted to have like house pets, house rats, but yeah. No, it would not bother me. Rats are cute. I never let any part of my body touch the toilet seat in public restrooms. No. I mean, I understand the statement behind that, but I mean, technically, I want to say as a man, you could just stand and do your business like that. I enjoy sitting down. It's more relaxing, it takes a lot of stress and burden. You don't always have to be on the go and everything. Then just relax, even in public restrooms. If the toilet seat is really murky and everything, then I'm not gonna sit down on that. Maybe try to clean the office if there's a way. But on that, I don't care. People are disgusting anyway, so what gives? As part of a sex educational class, you are required to inflate a new unlubricated, thank you for that word, condom using your mouth. Okay. It's new unlubricated. There we go. Why is this the most difficult word for me in this sentence? Unlubricated. I wouldn't have any problems with that. It's unlubricated. It's basically a latex it's a latex condom. There you go. That's what it is. It's basically just a balloon at that point. It doesn't matter. The thing that makes touching a condom like this feel weird is the lubrication on it. And even then I wouldn't be bothered by it. Just might be that the lubrication doesn't taste good. But that's why you have condoms with flavors. Then that's no problem at all anymore. I've never tried one. Now I'm just gonna let it stand like this. You think about what I had to say right there. You take a sip of soda. And then realize that you drank from the glass that an acquaintance of yours had been drinking from. I'm not disgusted at all. We are all sharing the same disgusting diseases that will eventually murder us. Sorry, got a little bit hot-headed there, but doesn't bother me. Happens and whatever. Again, we all share the same germs. Eventually, we will all die. And that's okay. You're walking barefoot on concrete and you step on an earthworm. Squish. Okay, there's some disgust there. There's not extreme disgust, but there's some disgust. Even if I would step on not an earthworm, but any other buggy thing and I would have that squish on my foot, there's some disgust there. Because I don't like that. It's like a textural thing and I would not love that texture at all. So there's definitely some disgust, but not extreme disgust. I would not have any big problems with it. I would just be like, ugh. And then I would clean my foot off. You see a person eating an apple with a knife and fork. Why is that disgusting? Okay, maybe that is just my experience as a waiter, but I've seen people eat all sorts of fruit and stuff with a knife and fork. Even like strawberries, grapes, like anything. I've seen them eat with cutlery. Why is that disgusting? Explain yourself! I would understand being weirded out by that, but disgusted? If you're disgusted by that, please try to explain to me why you think that's disgusting, because that is one I cannot see at all. Again, weirded out, I would understand. I was also weirded out the first time I saw it, Now it's something that I'm used to because people just do that stuff. But disgusting is not a thing that I ever thought. Weird. You're about to drink a glass of milk when you smell that it is spoiled. Yeah, that's a neutral thing for me. I do not like the smell of spoiled milk, but I have smelled worse things than spoiled milk, so that's not a problem for me at all. Your friend's pet cat... Let me rephrase that one. Your friend's pet cat dies. That's... Why is that sentence sounding so weird? You have to pick up the dead body with your bare hands. Yeah, that again, I've talked about that with the bird that I had to throw out recently. First thinking of it, I would be like, but then when I hold it, I'm like, okay. Take it, Millie. Trotting along. Anyway, I don't think I would. It's gonna be in a neutral zone again, because there's the first initial thought of, no. Gonna have to do something real quick, give me a moment. Anyway, I've talked about it before. Probably in the neutral zone, because it's like a flip-flop between those. You accidentally touch the ashes of a person who has been cremated. I don't know how that would happen to begin with, but I would not be disgusted because at that point they're ashes and... That's it. Done. I don't think I need to explain that a little bit more. Even if it was a person before, I don't care. You see maggots on a piece of meat in an outdoor garbage pile. I'm not disgusted. But also not disgusted at all. There's a piece of fascination for me with that, because there's something that looks like... There's a reason why it's used in like horror movies, because there is a certain visceral reaction your body has to that, and it just looks amazing, and there is a certain reaction to that. I'm not disgusted by it, but I'm also not disgusted by it. So I worded this weirdly, but I hope you get what I mean. When you are walking through a tunnel under a railroad track, you smell urine. That's neutral, because that just happens. Sometimes even when you're on a railroad or inside of the subways, that's just something that you smell at times. That's... Of course, there's the question of, why are people that incompetent? But it's also nothing new. So I'm just gonna go with neutral. A friend offers you a piece of chocolate shaped like a dog poo. It's chocolate. There's no... First of all, I don't have friends like that. And secondly, it's still just dog... Okay. I get why it would be disgusting to you, but it's chocolate. You see a man with his intestines exposed after an incident. I don't know. That maybe might go towards disgusting. Because intestines can look really gross. Also, if there's some bone sticking out, well, actually, if there's some broken things that are internal and not sticking out, I'm way more disgusted by that. That's a thing, actually. If I see like a broken bone and it's just like the hand like snapping like this and it's internal and there's nothing, no blood or anything, and you just see something bending the way it's not supposed to, that is something that just gives me chills. That I can't deal with that. But if it's like an open broken bone or something like this, I'm way more okay with looking at that. It's still not something pleasant to look at, but I'm way more okay with looking at that than it's something that is completely contained within the skin, because that just gives me the creeps. And so I feel like intestines exploded out of the body. Disgusting. I think I could handle it better than just the thing with the bones. But I don't know. I've never seen it. And just totally frank, I don't think I ever want to. You see someone put ketchup on vanilla ice cream and eat it. Great! Thank you. Now I have to write that down and make a short out of that for next week. I typed it, it's in my list now. Hey, look forward, next Monday. I'm gonna eat vanilla ice cream with ketchup, or just, maybe not vanilla ice cream. Maybe I'm gonna buy something else that I really like, but just ice cream with ketchup. Because this stupid test made me do it. And now I'm intrigued. I'm not disgusted by it, now I'm intrigued. Gosh dang it, why are you doing this to me? Okay, you discovered that a friend of yours changes underwear only once a week. It's his problem, not mine. As long as I don't have to smell it, hey, you do you. As long as you're staying clean, that's totally not my... Whatever, you live your life to the fullest. You're done with the survey, you sit 10 minutes. I've been sitting here for half an hour, cutting out some of the other parts that were unnecessary for you to see. Press the spacebar to exit and see how your answers compare to others that have completed the survey. Sure, let's see. Let's compare a little bit. Your average disgust judgment was 2 out of 5. The red line represents your score. Okay, so I'm on the lower spectrum, which means I am less disgusted by stuff than the average person here. Explore the graph below to see how your score compares to other participants. There's some people here that definitely said they're never disgusted by anything, and there's also some people over there I feel like that said they're disgusted by absolutely everything, which is totally fine. Disgust is a visceral response to interacting with things, people or actions that we find to be wrong or bad. I feel like with cringe culture this one rushed up in like popularity, I wanna say. It makes intuitive senses that feelings of disgust factor into moral decisions making. The more disgusted we are by an unethical action, the more likely we are to judge the action and its perpetrator harshly. Conversely, people who score low on disgust scales might be more willing to endorse utilitarian actions that require doing some harm to bring about the greater good. I'm not saying that this sounds correct, but some e-searchers have theorized that disgust is the embodiment of the emotional deontological response we have to moral dilemmas. Interesting. I'm not gonna sort it by gender or religion because that's not interesting to me. I just wanna have just the overall arching thing. And there's, wow, over 600 participations in this, and it's amazing to see these numbers. Well, I'm on the low spectrum of disgust, but again, stuff doesn't disgust me as much. I'm rather open when it comes to certain things. And yeah, I have a short idea that I'm gonna have to do. And I actually still can go shopping. I technically still could go out and buy that for today. I could technically still make that short today. Why did you put that thought in my head? Anyway, this was still really interesting and like an interesting deep dive into what disgusts me and what not, and also to see what things I've seen in my life already and that I've done already, which is interesting. But yeah, there's more of these tests on the site, so maybe I'm gonna jump in again at one point and do another one. But not for next week, because next week there's the end of the month. Or is it already? Wait, hold up. That's too early. No, we have one more week after that. So for next week we're gonna do something else anyway, because I don't wanna do this thing 2 weeks in a row. But still, this is rather interesting, and seeing how disgust factors into morality is something interesting there as well. Anyway, hope we learned something here, because I think I actually did. See you next time. Bye.